Discussions with Carly and Madison. We have been MIA for, oh my gosh, way too long, but we are back and we have some really exciting things. We're also going to be doing a awesome transition that we are super excited for. We are going to be moving the Divine Discussions over to podcast format. So it will no longer be on IGTV like it is now. So stay tuned for more information on that to come very soon. But a long overdue Divine Discussions. I think we are episode 15 now. Carly, hello, welcome back. How the heck are you?
I'm great, babe. I'm way better and I'm feeling so good this month. It's a new month. Thank you for asking. How are you?
Yay, I am doing so great. I am feeling amazing as well. So let's talk a little bit, give a little catch up. So we know that you were under the weather for quite some time. You had the sea bomb, you had a few things going on. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, absolutely. I won't get into long overdue story. I'll sum it up for you, but guys, I haven't been sick in years. I've been the epitome of health. Like I felt so good for so long that I think maybe in my woo-woo brain that maybe getting sick was just something I had to do. And then I was sick for on and off for a few months, found out it was a parasite. And living on this tiny tropical island, you're more just there's more likely of a chance that can get a parasite from unwashed veggies that you ate at a restaurant, from the water. It's just a third world country, Indonesia. It just happens. And I didn't know I had a parasite. I knew something was wrong with me, but I kept getting better in between being sick for a long time. Madison, you know that. Oh my gosh.
Yes. It was like
Um,
the longest sickness I've ever seen.
I felt so bad. I kept having to say to you, like, I'm ready to go. And then I'm like, I'm sick again. I can't. Like 5 times. Oh my God, so frustrating. But after a while, when I still didn't know that I had a parasite, I had COVID. My partner broke a rib, so and had emergency surgery. So it was just a really heavy few months, I think. And I know the world also has been a bit heavy, so it's just everything was lit. Trying to like keep my head up. But then I found out I had COVID. I got from the hospital being with my partner as he got his rib surgery, and then I gave it to him. And then we were sick. And then after COVID, I got sick again, got tested, realized it was a parasite and COVID combined. And it was probably the worst sickness I've ever had. Guys, I would not put this upon any person on the planet. It totally wiped me out, but it had me pause everything. My whole life had to be on pause because, as you know, health is number one. It's the main thing. And I learned that a lot being sick is that money comes and goes. Family is so important. Everything else can be on pause as you take care of yourself because I had no choice at all.
Yes, totally. Well, so it's funny. It's not funny, but it's funny that
Now,
it's funny that just before all this happened, you were flexing like all the time, constantly. I haven't been sick in years. I haven't been sick for so long. I never get sick. Like the amount of times I heard you say that, like in presentations, in just talking, like you said it so many times. And then all of a sudden you had like 2, 3 months, it felt like, of just like you couldn't do anything.
oh my God. I remember when I got like sick the first time, I was like, is this because I've just been literally saying this really loud that I need to be like put in my place? Yeah. Yeah, I needed to sit down and I swear maybe the universe was like, hey bitch, you're human. Sit down.
Yeah, maybe. I also truly believe that you weren't giving yourself the proper downtime, and you agreed to that before when we were talking. So, going through all of this, I know that you struggled so much with not working because you love to do your business. You love to get up and do what you love to do. That's why we do this. But you couldn't. Every time you did, you would burn yourself out because you're still healing. So, do you want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. It's being so passionate with what you're doing. But that again goes to show that you may love what you do, but if you're not prioritizing your mental health or having time for yourself, then everything is in jeopardy. Health is, oh my God, health is so number one. And I I learned so much about finding, and I know we never get balance right, and it always is fluid and it always changes. And we always say we want to balance out our lives all the time, but even then, circumstances change and we got to adapt.
Yeah.
Um, I am thankful now though, that knowing I thought I was genuinely burning myself out, but to be like, honestly, it was because I had a parasite in me that kept me sick. And that's what I thought. I was like, what am I doing wrong? I keep trying to find my balance and like, I keep getting sicker and sicker, but now it's more like, it was something I actually didn't know was actually physically happening. Like this parasite was eating, like, okay, I don't want to get into detail, but it was really gross. Ugh, so gross. But I also did learn as well that even though that was the case, I was making excuses and stuff for not finding downtime. Like I need to get stuff done. I'm just hustling because it's just a season. I know now that in the downtime, like you really have to be in it and you have to set aside a time because or else you'll never get it done. I just learned the importance of it, just the importance of giving yourself the grace and like turning off your phone if you work on social media like we do, or even if you do work a 9 to 5 or a regular job, finding that extra hour to fill your cup up. And I learned so much about that, and now I'm better at it. I do no screen Sundays. I have a whole day. I'll get my nails done with no phone, and I'm just going to be there relaxing, getting pampered, and then I'll get to work. And now I'm feeling way better about my life and my balance with what works for me right now. But you have to make time. You make time. Time does not happen for you. People say they don't have time. I think it's bullshit.
Yeah, that's so true. I agree. So true.
Yeah.
So throughout all this, you learn this huge lesson, which is amazing. Some people never learn this in their entire lives and they just work themselves dry and they don't fill up their cup. They don't take time for themselves. And then they wonder why they're so, getting themselves sick and burnt out and all these things. Now, through all this craziness, you have the C-bomb, you have a parasite, your boyfriend has to go get surgery, all this craziness is happening. Now somehow throughout that, you're hardly working your business because you physically cannot, and
Yeah.
you reach the promotion you've been going for forever. Let's talk about that.
Yes. Oh my God. I reached my promotion. Okay, guys, I've been going for this promotion for, yeah, I don't know. I want to say 2 years, but I think that's too long. It might have been a year and a half. The beauty of this business, you guys, is if you create the base of what you're doing, like you work hard in the beginning, and I'm still in the beginning, like I'm still building, but the beauty of this business is you create the base so that your business can now begin to run for you because you inspire others to do the same. That's it. Obviously, there's more to it. But that for me, I worked so hard. I got sick for the 2 months, and even in between being sick, I worked hard. And again, as you know, that's how I maybe did as well. Stay a bit sick. No regrets though. Um, to a point where I built this up and I worked so hard that things began to duplicate and began to happen. And when I was finished, like at the end of being sick, because I found out what was actually wrong with me, so I got the proper like care. I got a message saying, like, Carly, you did it. Like you reached it. And I cried. I celebrated. I said, this just goes to show that even being sick and being away and not being able to do what I've been always been doing and wanting to do, that's the beauty of network marketing and residual income and your business working for you in emergencies. When
Yeah.
you're sick, you can't do it. It's not like if I was sick and like out of work for that long at another job, I would have been fired. I would have been let go. I would have been made redundant just for the fact that I can't show up and I'm replaceable.
Yeah.
That taught me so much and just so much gratitude for what we have because network marketing gives that opportunity to create a business that can run for you if you put in the work in the beginning. And I think that's where I was hitting. That's why I was so pissed because I'm like, I have such momentum right now. Things are happening, it's going. And then boom, you can't do anything. You can't do shit. You can't look at your phone. And then it still goes to show that in the time of being sick, it worked for me. And I still reached a promotion. And now I'm ready to go in with my whole heart again with a new kind of energy, a new softer energy, but a more with grace and courage and a willingness to learn and to hit my next promotion and not get sick in the process. And if I do, I'll be more equipped to handle it. So yeah, I'm just so thankful that that happened. It's crazy.
I'm so thankful that that happened for you also. Like you worked so hard for that, you deserved it. And I'd love to just talk quickly on what you did to celebrate, because we've talked in past episodes of Divine Discussions where we've both talked about how we have a hard time celebrating our wins once we reach it because we work so hard to get to this goal, and we always have the next goal in mind. So by the time we actually reach the goal, we're already thinking about the next one. And sometimes we just pass right over and forget to celebrate like this huge, huge win. So talk about that. What have you done to celebrate? Are you still doing anything else to celebrate?
Yeah, absolutely. It's just like the little moments, I think, for me, even like the feeling of just sitting down and reflecting and just celebrating how far I've come. That in itself can even top any vacation or going away. It's like you sit with yourself and it's this overwhelming feeling throughout my whole body, just like proud of myself and looking at all the shit that I went through and knowing that it was worth every bit because I learned as I went. And how it's just even I'm scratching the surface of what I want to create. But that's a celebration in itself that I think people should do more often, even just to reflect and have a moment alone and quiet. It can be 5 minutes, right?
Yes.
So that was one of it, and having more moments like that instead of just rushing to the next thing. But aside from that, I know as humans, we're like purpose driven. We're goal oriented, just a species because it keeps us going. Without a goal, we're depressed. Like without a vision, we stay stagnant and life feels blah because we need that just as a human race, right? And I don't think there's anything wrong with like wanting goals and going for it, but again, in the moments in between are so necessary before you hit it because then it's like you said, it's just going to be the next, and we can always have a goal. But what's the point if we're not actually being in it and celebrating it? So I'm mapping out my whole next goal and everything, and I'm so excited for that. But in the meantime, I have a whole trip planned in another island close to where I am. I'm doing a 7-day surf girls trip in a beautiful villa, and I'm just going to be so present, and I'm still going to run my business. Guess what, guys? Because I can anywhere. And I get to run that in my spare time as I'm surfing all morning, being present and just relishing in what I've created and spending a bit of my bonus and paying off a bit of my debt, which is great. I'm chipping away at it. We're doing well. And yeah, that's what I'm doing. But it's the little moments and being with my partner and him looking at me, being like, Carly, I'm so proud of you. I'm like, I did that. And he's looking at me in admiration because I worked hard. So that's what I'm going to do. And definitely taking the small moments to reflect. That's what's important.
Yay, that's so beautiful. I feel like just through that entire story, so much has happened in the last few months, although, we've been kind of behind the scenes. So I'm glad that we were able to do a little catch up. I think we could probably leave it at that. That was beautiful. But I am so excited for this next chapter we're about to embark on because we are, like I said in the beginning, we're transferring over to podcast, and IGTV served us well, but I'm super excited for us to try out this new platform. And you guys are going to be able to expect some really great content from us and, keep learning while we learn. That's really all our goal is. We keep learning stuff and we just want to make it easier for you guys so you guys don't have to go through the same bullshit that we went through.
Yes, let us help you. Let us tell you about our mistakes so that you don't have to do it.
Please.
Thanks, Madison, for taking the time to ask questions. You are definitely next on the roster with what you've learned because we've both had some things happen. So thank you.
Absolutely. Love you.